Is it going to get crazy by the end of Loki, and is the future just going to get absolutely insane?
uh, I think that yes, yeah. I mean, but hopefully in a way that always is.
Michael, how's it going?
How's it going, man?
I'm doing great because I absolutely loved Loki, and I'm talking to the writer right now.
But
Seriously, oh, it was such a good show. I truly enjoyed it. Loki's one of the best characters out there, and congrats to you on this. Congrats to also all the success you've had lately. Star Wars, Rick and Morty, you've been on in the past. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and thanks for being an inspiration to me as a younger guy myself, trying to be in the industry. Look up to what you're doing. So Loki is, it has to be one of the most fun characters to write a story for. He's pure chaos. And you kind of have him from scratch because the Loki that we saw die was a very different Loki than we have now, who hasn't been through all those events. So what was your goal with him? Bigger, bolder, weirder, crazier? What vision did you have for Loki when you first came on board?
I think that the most important thing to me, because there had been a version of Loki that we'd watched over 10 years of movies, was all right, how do we make sure we're doing something new with this character? I didn't want to just tell the same story of the guy who'd sort of arced out through Thor, the Dark World, Ragnarok, and then Infinity War. So we wanted to figure out, okay, how are we gonna, break new ground with this character?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's kind of like, like you said, yeah, the story arc, it came to an end. And it's so great to see a different story arc because he's such a cool character. So you also, like I mentioned before, wrote Multiverse of Madness, which is, it seems like Loki's causing some trouble for the future multiverse, as we'll call it, right? Was this a concern for you going in, or did you intentionally put any consequences that Doctor Strange might have to deal with later?
Well, I think Loki, throughout the history of the MCU, has always everything he does causes big problems for people. He was the reason the Avengers sort of came together in the first place. So it was always our hope and intention with this show for it to have a big impact on the MCU moving forward. So what that impact is, we'll see.
Well, it looks like it's going to have a pretty big impact, and I'm definitely really excited to see where that's going. In this, you write about, time travel, different timelines, and then you're going to write about the multiverse and Doctor Strange. In a way, you're a pretty powerful character right now in the MCU. These are huge factors. So is it going to get crazy by the end of Loki, and is the future just going to get absolutely insane?
uh, I think that yes, yeah. I mean, but hopefully in a way that always is driven by character and by emotional and investment in the same way that the Infinity Saga was. It's, you can throw as many big crazy sci-fi concepts at something as you want, but if the characters aren't cool and if the emotional stories aren't resonant, you're not going to care what's happening. So I think it's our challenge is as the folks, the writers, the filmmakers, and everybody helping shape this next phase of the MCU. How do we keep expanding the world outward, but keep the emotion intimate? Because I do believe that's ultimately what the fans love and what keeps people so invested.
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite parts was watching Loki just be vulnerable and raw, in the first episode. No spoilers, but that was great. And we're going to see more of that with more characters. Is this going to be a type of vulnerability from Loki that we've never seen before?
I sure hope so. I think that's what's for sale with a TV show. That's the cool thing about doing a television series about a Marvel blockbuster supervillain is you can have longer scenes of dialogue and quieter character moments than maybe you could in a big feature, and so I'm excited about that, and that was always one of our big hopes with the series.
Well, it's definitely a lot more intimate, obviously, because it's just focused on him. And I truly did enjoy getting to know a different side of him. You've stated in previous interviews that, with the series, each episode can be its own very distinct story. So, and you talked about each episode having, that episode, that was that episode. Which one is your favorite? And can you share a little bit why? Without too much, without giving too much.
not without getting killed. I mean, the truth is, really, the way we would move on from an episode in the writer's room is I would say, holy shit, that's the best episode ever. I love that episode. Okay, screw that episode. Now on to the next one. This one's got to be the best one ever. So they're all my children. I love them all. And really, I hope they all stand alone and also come together as hopefully one big cool thing.
Well, I certainly thought so. I certainly thought the first two were very distinct episodes. And again, amazing job. I truly loved it. And this is just a great character. And I love the way that you're going with him. Can't wait to watch the rest. Any final thought that you'd like people to leave with after watching Loki?
Wow.
There's so much, right? It's such a big question. I'm sorry.
yeah. Jeez. I think that, all the big thoughts that I have, I poured into the show. I have no big thoughts left. It's all just time.
Well, I'm super glad that you put all those into the show. It's amazing so far. Michael, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for Loki.
Yeah, thanks, man. Have a good day.
Thanks, Michael. You too.